Hey, and welcome to Teagsley Talks. I'm Tegan, a wellness enthusiast, conscious creator, and life learner, where we talk all things well-being, spirituality, lifestyle, and mindset. I give you an inside look at my brain, my habits, and the life I live, so together we can live our dream lives. Here we are a community of loving souls wanting to live incredible lives and feel wildly good doing it. Join me every week as I download the next potty of goodness.
Hello, my lovely souls, and welcome back to the podcast. I'm Teags, your host of Teagsley Talks, and today we are going to talk about 3 things you absolutely have to do if you are not sleeping well and if you really want to nail your sleep routine. I think of what a lot of people don't know is how important your sleep is and what actually happens while you sleep. If people are waking up feeling tired, feeling sore, just feeling exhausted, can't get through the day without 3, 4, 5, 12 coffees, this podcast is for you. We're going to start with some breath work. We're going to go into a life update. I finally got my blood results. So I'm going to let you know what is going on, and then we will do our intention and then move into today's topic so you can learn how to finally sleep really well. I want to give a little notice. If you hear kids in the background, I've got neighbors. It doesn't happen very often, so if you do hear things, sorry, hopefully this blocks them out. Let's dive in. Let's start with our breathing. We are just going to do our normal 3 deep breaths in and out. Let's start with our breathing. We're going to do our 3 nice deep breaths that we like to do very frequently here. We just breathe in and out through the nostrils, and we're going to breathe a little bit longer on the exhale. So inhale, deep breath in through the nostrils, and deep breath out through the nostrils. Inhale, fill the belly. Exhale, relax the shoulders. Inhale, feel the belly, straight spine. And exhale, let it all out. I feel like I always say this, but every time I just do 3 breaths or just that short amount that we breathe, it just feels so good. Let's dive into a little life update, because if you listen to last week's podcast, you're probably waiting for the blood results like I was. Now I've got it on my phone because honestly, there's a little bit going on and it's also a little bit overwhelming. So I'm just trying to take day by day at the moment, basically just trying to wrap my head around what's going on within my body and just trying to fix things. So I'm going to get it up on my phone, but basically, if you're new here and you haven't listened to the previous podcast, basically I have been feeling so exhausted and really irritated. They were like my 2 main things that I've been feeling for quite a while now. And basically they've just gotten worse and worse and worse, where I'm like, to the point, like I was saying, I think last week or the week before, I was just saying there's like this underlying tinge of unhappiness that's to the point that I've gotten. And if you know me and you know me well, you know that I am a ball of energy, super happy, very positive. Like that's just who I am naturally. And I had really started to become not that, quite the opposite. So I knew that there was something wrong. I also have been having a few skin things that have been happening, a few belly things. So I knew that there was something going on. And the fact that I was just feeling so exhausted from like not even much was really bothering me. So basically I went to the naturopath and she sort of said what she thought it might be, and then I went for my blood test and I finally got my blood test results back. So let's dive in and I'll tell you what's been going on. Okay, so I'm not going to read all of the bloods and everything, but I'm just going to read a few of the main things that got my attention as a health coach, and then I'm going to say what her results are. So my white blood cells were really low, and if you don't know what white blood cells are, basically they're like the healing cell. So when you have like an infection, inflammation, whatever in your body, your white blood cells go there and heal it. And that would explain why I've been so sick this year. I literally pick up any flu, anything that I walk past, come into contact with. So that was really low. A few other things were low there, but I don't have the full understanding of them, so I don't really want to talk about them. My red blood cells were also low. My hemoglobin was low. Lots of other things there were low. My chloride was low. Uric acid was really high. Magnesium was really low. My my pancreas basically is really high, and my cholesterols were all really low. And when you hear cholesterols, you probably think it needs to be low, but we have your total cholesterol, triglycerides, HDL and LDL, and basically the LDL is the bad cholesterol in air quotes. So that one is in a normal range, so that's really good, but my healthy and my triglycerides are low. So that also means that your immune response, chronic inflammation, those types of things. Also, my testosterone and progesterone were really low, which will explain moods and things like that. And a couple of other hormones were low, which I don't know too much about, so I don't want to talk to them, like I said. Then my DHEA is really low. It could be from chronic stress, adrenal insufficiency, these types of things. And there were a few other things low. B12, I think my zinc was low. Basically I've got a lot of things really low, and honestly just like having her tell me that all of these things are low, just they kind of gave me like a permission slip to actually feel how I'm feeling, because I am such like a high energy, positive person who just, I do have a lot of energy. And even though I'm like a projector in human design, I do have a lot of energy. And the fact that all of these things are low, and it's basically creating this low energy, and it's basically creating this low energy and lethargic feeling within me. So honestly, it just gave me a permission slip to be like, oh yeah, I actually am exhausted, because I think for the last year I've honestly been trying to push through, which obviously isn't good, but I think you don't realize how bad it is until you get to this point of like, I just feel so irritated and so exhausted. Like I literally, if I surf in the morning, like I can't do anything in the evening. Like I'm so exhausted. I can't do anything, but like for me, I'm just so exhausted all the time. And I was just speaking to my naturopath saying, now it all makes sense. I feel like now I can feel my feelings, because I was just trying to troop on and just to, I would, like I'm going to speak about sleep today, like I'd just be like, right, well I need to get more sleep, and then, oh, I need to eat better, and like things just became this like rat race of trying to fix things. But obviously when I tell you all the things that are wrong, like you can't just eat it out, and you can't just sleep it out. So I'll tell you what her diagnosis is, if that's what you call what a naturopath does. And she tells you like the dysfunctions that are happening within your body, and it all makes sense for how I'm feeling. So the first thing was immune system dysregulation. So basically my immune system is causing autoimmune symptoms, so like extreme fatigue, exhaustion, these types of things. Also, she suggests I have a systemic inflammation, so it's causing intestinal inflammation and just systemic inflammation, so all within my intestines. Possibly a stealth infection, so it's kind of like an inflammation sort of thing as well. Impaired methylation, which is, I'll just read what it basically says. It's a biochemical dysfunction affecting essential bodily processes like detoxification, energy production, DNA regulation, and the synthesis of neurotransmitters. So basically this is why you then feel like chronic fatigue, like symptoms, brain fog, mood disorders, anxiety, depression, hormonal imbalances, increased inflammation, and then the list can go on if it stays like that forever. So that was another thing. Also kidney insufficiency, so basically saying that my kidneys aren't working as good as they should be. And I have previously had some kidney infections, so that would kind of make sense. Then also fat malabsorption, so that it indicates of possible fat malabsorption associated with possible liver burden, insufficiency, and associated with pancreatic inflammation. So basically, because one thing up here isn't working, it's creating like a roll-on effect to the other organs. And then also the last one was malnutrition and malabsorption. So I have deficiencies in vitamin A, B6, B9, B12, C, copper, glutathione, iron, magnesium, and zinc, which honestly is so wild that I have that many deficiencies. And I had stopped taking a couple of supplements once I'd seen her, because I wanted to see my system at like a no supplement sort of intake, so then I could get like a real baseline health reading. So immune system, systemic inflammation, stealth infection, impaired methylation, kidney insufficiency, fat malabsorption, and malnutrition with those vitamin deficiencies. So basically it just means that obviously I have some sort of infection within me, and that is kind of creating a roll-on effect for certain vitamins being able to be absorbed because there's something quite wrong within me. So once I heard that, definitely it was super overwhelming, especially when you start hearing the words like systemic inflammation and stealth infection. I'm like, oh my God, I'm infected. But honestly, I know that so many people are probably walking around with this and doing nothing about it. So I'm just grateful that now I have the answers. And like I was saying before, it just makes me feel like really validated in my feelings, and that I don't have to keep pushing through like I keep doing. So from here, I went to the shop yesterday and got all of my supplements and everything for the protocol. Basically, I'm going to be on a 16-week protocol, and they're broken up into 4-week protocols. The first week is basically about preparing the body for this sort of detoxification and healing process. I had to get, I think it was 9 supplements yesterday, and some are morning, afternoon, evening, some of them 3 times a day. So it's a lot to take in, but honestly, I'd rather do that, spend the money, spend the time creating this like optimal body, because that's what I'm about, right? Like I'm always talking about living optimally, and you can do as much as you can do. And then, you know, like I was saying, I think it was last week, like me trying to heal myself, like you can do as much as you can do, but when you have things going on within you that you aren't aware of and that you can't actually target because you don't have the actual reading and the answers, then you basically just create a new normal for yourself, which is kind of what I think I was doing, being so exhausted. And yeah, I'm like, that's not normal. So now I have the answers and I'm able to do this protocol. Basically, I just have to take these supplements to heal my gut, get my vitamin deficiencies out of the low numbers, and create like a healthy detoxification system in my body, like with my pancreas, liver, and kidneys, to make sure that they're working well. And honestly, even when I speak about kidney and liver, like it just cracks me up, because I'm like, how do I have this problem now and I don't even drink alcohol? And alcohol is like one of the worst things that you can do for your kidney and liver. I'm like, this is wild. But anyway, it is what it is, and it's some sort of inflammation that's just created either from parasites, candida overgrowth, like it's just something that's within me, whether I caught it somewhere, catch it somewhere, create it myself, whatever it is, it's there and I'm gonna get rid of it. And along with the supplements, I'm doing like a diet protocol as well. So just similar to what I did on the parasite cleanse. So no gluten, she allows dairy, no sugars, and low sugar fruits and veggies as well. So back to that. So like I was saying last week, I didn't think that I had it in me to do a 4-week cleanse. Here we go. But also my naturopath really speaks about like still having the other fruits and veggies occasionally, because obviously they have such high potencies of other vitamins and minerals that the body needs. It just means that I can't have white potato every single night. It just means that I can't have red apples every single day. So that is kind of where I'm at. There's lots of other things that she's recommended. I am still doing the ACV, the apple cider vinegar, in the morning. She's also recommended things like maca, also like grounding practices, which I do anyway, but I'm just going to do like a couple of extra things. She talks about exercise. Literally, she speaks about everything, hydration, and just getting all these things happening. So in 4 or 5 weeks, then I am going to Fiji. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I do not get sick, because if you've been listening to the podcast for the last year, you will know that most of the times when I get back from the Pacific Islands, I come home sick with something, and it's usually knocks me around for like a week, 2 weeks or so. So I'm really hoping that my immune system and my deficiencies are back at like their normal level. So then when I do go overseas, I'm okay and I won't get sick and run down. And yeah, that's pretty much it, honestly. If you have any other questions, let me know. Come over to Instagram or just comment here on YouTube or Spotify, wherever you're watching or listening, and I can try and answer them. I was thinking I should get a naturopath on here and talk about things like this, because I feel like so many people are probably walking around with these types of things that are happening within them and not knowing and not doing anything about it. And I definitely am very conscious of what I eat, but like I was saying this to Zach yesterday, I was thinking back, why is it only in this last 2 years that I've felt like this? Like I've just slowly gotten worse. And honestly, what I can put it down to, because I've never felt like this, and I've been pescatarian for 11 years and I've never felt like this. So I know for sure it's nothing to do with the fact that I don't eat meat. I eat fish, if you don't know what pescatarian is, and I eat eggs. So I know for a fact it is not anything to do with animal products. The second thing is that now that I live with Zach, I eat a lot differently, because obviously you're trying to make 2 people satisfied for the meals. So I know that I definitely am not eating as wide of meals that I used to. So that's something for me to fix for myself. And the other thing is definitely the environment that we're in. Like there's so much mold in Queensland or especially this end of Queensland, because it's so humid and it rains so much. Basically just an environment for mold. And also where we live, and it's amazing, and like I've said this before, like it's amazing, but it does cause an amount of stress, because you have to go with the tides, the weather, and the time of the barge. Like there are times of the day where you literally cannot drive on the beach. If you're new here, I have to drive on the sand, like along the ocean, to get to my house. So that is creating a certain amount of stress that I hadn't really thought about, because I want to appreciate where we live and have gratitude for this lifestyle that we live, but it's definitely creating like this level of stress within both of us, because yes, sometimes you literally can't go and do things. And yeah, anyway, I've spoken about it on here before, but I think the lifestyle, as amazing as it is, it definitely does create some form of stress within the body. And plus the fact that we live in Queensland, which has lots of mold, so maybe it's to do with those things. I just think I need to really get back on track with eating all of my foods that I need to eat to get all of my vitamins and minerals, but also to get my stomach nice and healthy and get rid of any inflammation or infection that is in there. I think that's everything for the update, apart from the fact that my health is consuming me at the moment. We've just been surfing and beach walking and all those types of things. I'm so close to launching Learn to Meditate. I hired someone to help me, and I did not really get the help that I needed. So it's super annoying. If anyone here listening knows anyone that works with WordPress, LearnDash, and Elementor, please contact me. I would love your help. You have to be a whiz, because I'm already a whiz, but I need a whiz. Like I need someone to help me with the things that I don't know. So reach out if you're listening to this. And yeah, apart from that, we've just been chilling out for the week. Not too much has been happening. I've honestly just been so exhausted, so tired. Yeah, and I think because now that I have my diagnosis, call it whatever you want, but I just feel like now I'm really feeling the feelings. I'm like, wow, I actually don't feel very good. But that doesn't matter. We're not here for that. We are here to become optimal humans, and that is what I'm going to do. So I'll pretty much do absolutely everything that I can to get my health back on track. You can probably almost guess what this week's intention is going to be, but let's this week take things really slowly. This includes eating your meals really slowly, chewing your food, really taking in the flavors, the sensations, the tastes, the textures, everything. This is even like getting ready for work or getting ready to go out. Getting ready slowly. Morning routine, night routine. Do things slowly. Cooking meal, doing it slowly. Just taking this rush factor out of our lives at work, conversations, speaking, literally everything. Let's take out being in such a rush. I feel like for me, when I'm rushed, I just become scattered, I forget things, and things get half done. So let's stop rushing and let's just take things slowly. Okay, let's dive into today's topic. Now, if you are someone who claims themselves to be a poor sleeper, crap sleeper, or you say things like, I rest when I'm dead, or no rest for the wicked. Yeah, if you say things like that, this one is for you. If you feel like you just don't have the answers for why you're not sleeping very well, let me tell you, these 3 things are potentially holding you back. Now, if you are feeling like me right now, you just are exhausted, so lethargic, irritated, you probably need to go get your bloods done as well. But these 3 things will hopefully help. But what I am saying is that if you are just so exhausted like how I'm feeling, these 3 things are like blips in the ocean. So let's dive in. When I was growing up, going to school and everything, I literally would live off of 4 to 5 hours sleep. I had zero memory capacity, couldn't for the life of me remember what I learned at school. I was quite emotional. I was very just tired in the afternoon. I remember I can't remember, I was in high school, but I would get home and need a nap after school because I hadn't slept. And I would pull all-nighters. Honestly, my sleep was non-existent. And then as I grew up, I was just sort of claiming myself to be a poor sleeper. I have a really busy mind. I have the tendency to think a lot. And I would just lay and stare at the roof for hours. I remember I'd go to bed at 8, 9 o'clock. I'd see 11 o'clock. I'd see 3 o'clock. I would just always be awake and just couldn't close my mind off. And I was such a busy mind. I still am, but now I just have the tools that help me sleep, help me think clear, help me process things, and not ruminating on thoughts anymore. It's not stopping me from sleeping. The first thing that I think that we all need to do, and it's taking that responsibility to start taking action in the right direction of creating a healthier routine, whether that's, your exercise, your meals, your hydration, your meditation, or your sleep. It comes down to that first initial responsibility to go, right, I am taking care of myself. I'm nailing my sleep. I'm going to figure out why I can't sleep. Because if you continually live off 3, 4, 5 hours sleep, honestly, your health indicators are just going to start coming up into the red. This is blood pressure, resting heart rate, your stress will start coming up, weight gain. All of these health indicators start popping up into the red. So if you continue living with 4 to 5 hours sleep, you're not going to be optimal, and you're not going to feel good. There's no amount of coffees or superfoods that you can eat to fix your sleep. So the first thing is start putting effort into your sleep routine. If you are not going to bed at the same time, if you are not having some sort of sleep cue to help you go to sleep, then you're not going to go to sleep. And if you don't have the right tools to help empty your busy mind, then you're going to lay there awake till 11, 12, 3, whatever it is. Maybe you won't even sleep. So from today, start putting effort into your sleep routine. So this is things like going to bed at the same time, stopping saying things like, I'm a bad sleeper. Stop saying, I'll rest when I'm dead. Today, you actually need to start prioritizing your sleep, and remember that what you say you become. So if you say I'm a bad sleeper or I have a busy mind, you will become that and you manifest that into your life. So from today, take that responsibility and start putting effort into your sleep, because if you keep sleeping 4 or 5 hours, honestly, you're not going to live a very healthy, long, happy life. Sleep is so crucial to so many health benefits, your indicators, everything. So that's honestly step number 1. Stop saying things that you aren't and start prioritizing. Start being conscious that you need to have a wind down routine. If you think about when you're a kid, your parents would like feed you early enough, they'd bath you, then they help you read a book, or they read a book to you, sing a song, have the lights dim. Everything is created so you have this beautiful sleep routine to then get a great night's sleep. As an adult, what do? You go to your bed, you have your phone, you have a scroll, you look at other people's lives, you're looking at blue light, you've probably been in blue light out in the lounge room, maybe you're watching a scary movie, and you probably had like snacks and everything on the couch, so then you're going to bed full with blue light in your eyes, so your melatonin hasn't produced. So what I'm saying is today you take responsibility for your sleep routine and the words that you're saying. I honestly think that's the biggest change. If you just start saying now and taking responsibility, I go to bed at 9 o'clock, I go to bed at 9:30, whatever time, 8:30, some people start really early. If you start putting those words out there, you're going to become a better sleeper straight away, if you believe it. You have to believe it. Now, the second thing to do, and I just kind of mentioned about what we do as kids and babies and as we grow up, you need to create a wind down ritual and do it at the same time every single night, so then your body can get into a rhythm. We are rhythmic beings. You know, we wake when the sun rises and we go to sleep when the sun goes down. That's your circadian rhythm. You're a rhythmic being. Also, women, you have a 28-day rhythm, and men, you have a 24-hour rhythm. We are rhythmic creatures and we love rhythms and routines. So start creating a nighttime routine that's going to help you create a routine and a rhythm to get a good night's sleep. So go to bed at the same time every single night and wake up at the same time. Get into a routine. If you keep waking at different times, it just confuses the body. It confuses your circadian rhythm. So start waking and sleeping around as close as you can to the same time. Now, your ritual, it doesn't have to be a 2-hour ritual. It doesn't have to be an hour ritual. It can literally be 15 to 20 minutes, as long as you have those sleep cues in there to help you wind down, for your body to go, oh, okay, it's time to rest. Things to watch out for in your nighttime routine is screens, because they are so prevalent in our lives. I'm not going to say you can't watch a movie or go on your phone. I'm not saying that. I don't do that. But what I am saying is that if you're choosing to watch a movie, chuck some red glasses on, or do it a little bit before you go to bed. If you're having wild dreams during the night and you're waking feeling exhausted, that can be what happens when you do have lots of dreams and everything, that you do sleep quite poorly and you don't get into your like deep restorative rest. So if you're having wild dreams, take the movies away for a few nights. And if you do watch, have red glasses on, blue light blocking glasses on, and put the lights in your house quite dim. That's a big thing. As soon as you've had dinner, get the lights as dim as you can, or as soon as the sun has gone down, get your house as dim as you can, because then your body will get into its rhythm, its circadian rhythm, and start doing what it naturally does best. When the sun goes down, your body naturally wants to produce melatonin. Melatonin is what helps you sleep at night. So if you're watching TV or on your phone while you're in bed, then it's disrupting that production of your melatonin. Yes, you still can get to sleep, but you just aren't going to be resting as well in your first sort of cycle, is what I believe. And if you're watching the blue light, it's going to just push that back later into the night. You might get into bed and you're like, I was feeling really tired, and then you get your phone out and then you wake up and then your body's got to try and wind down again. So no screens too close to bed. Don't be scrolling in your bed at night. Get a book, a Kindle, whatever you have to do to replace that habit. What I keep thinking is every time I grab my phone, and whether it's if I grab it in the evening and if I'm like having a scroll, and I don't do it in the morning, that is a hard no. I will post on Instagram, but I will not scroll in the mornings, because every time I look at my phone on Instagram or TikTok, I always think, do I need to be scrolling other people's lives right now? Is there something in my life that I could do right now to have more fun, to better my future self? Like, is there something that I could be doing right now rather than scrolling other people's lives? Because do I really need to scroll other people's lives? No. What do I get from it? Not a lot, to be totally honest. So that's what I've been thinking every time I'm on my phone. Now, another thing that you want to do during your evening ritual is get into some really comfy clothes and get your like temperature in your room where it should be, and not too hot, not too cold, somewhere in between, a bit of a Goldilocks temperature. And then the other thing is doing some things that get your body ready. So like a warm shower, get the red light glasses on, read the book, do those things that help you wind down to start setting the tone for the evening. For those with a busy mind, this is what I do, previously done, so many of my clients do, is if you have a busy mind and you feel like you go to bed and all you can do is think about everything, get up and write it down. Make sure you've got a red light or a dim light near you, and don't write it in your phone, write up pen to paper and get all of those thoughts out. Then what your brain knows is, now that it's out of your brain onto paper, you won't forget it. You can think about it later and it's out of your body and onto paper. So it's sort of like a somatic practice where you get it out of your brain onto paper. It is game changing. Honestly, that's all I'm going to say. If you're a big thinker and you don't try this, you're silly. Go and try it. Honestly, write those things down. It is insanely game changing. And also with your nighttime routine, along with like dimming the lights, creating the routine like the shower, the comfy clothes, the environment, and getting the book or the Kindle, things to help you wind down. Remember that in these moments, to not fall into those habits of saying I'm a bad sleeper, or wonder what time I'll go to sleep tonight, or oh, my partner just falls asleep so quickly next to me. Careful of those things that you say, because that is also setting the tone. Just be conscious of your thoughts and your words. Start saying things like, I'm becoming a good sleeper. I'm working on my sleep. Tonight I'm going to get a really good rest. So then your body can prepare for that and allow that to manifest into your rituals, routines, and your life. Now, the third thing that I think that we should all do to get a better sleep, and I feel like you're probably expecting me to say this, but it's to meditate. Honestly, the nighttime meditation is pretty much where I started to get really consistent for my meditation, because I am such a busy mind. I'm honestly such a big thinker, and the meditation in the evening has helped me hugely start to get a good sleep. I've got a couple of really amazing meditations that I do. I also still have my morning and evening rituals on my website, so make sure you go and get that if you haven't already. I think when you listen to this, the special is done, but if you are listening to this and you would like a little special on it, DM me over on Instagram and I'll give you a code to get the sale price. So meditation, what it does, and it depends on the meditation, but if you allow your mind to relax and your body to relax, it helps you fall into sleep. So with meditation, it just gives your mind and your body permission to relax, because if you are like me, a bit of a goer, maybe you got kids, maybe you got like a late night, maybe a busy day at work, sometimes going to sleep is like the last thing that you can do. Like your mind is so busy, or you've just had a lot going on. So meditation is like a guided sleep ritual. You can just do a meditation sat up in bed, and then once you finish, then lay back down. It honestly just depends what you need in the time. Honestly, if you have a busy mind, you have trouble sleeping, meditating in the evening is like a non-negotiable. All of my clients, I recommend to do it. All of them benefit from it. Most of them do it now daily. Others just do it when they need it. If you really want to get your sleep habit and ritual really good and start sleeping deeply restorative, start meditating. Honestly, it just gets your body into the state that it needs to be to rest well. The state that we get into when we are meditating is a very similar state to sleep. Even if you start tracking on your Whoops or your smartwatches, you'll see that in your meditation, it's sometimes just as restorative as a 20-minute sleep. So honestly, it just prepares your body to sleep well. I think we all knew I was probably going to talk about meditation. I mean, do we ever do a podcast without talking about meditation? I'm not sure. Right. Okay. So if you are waking up tired, waking up sore, you can't get through the day without multiple coffees, your sleep has to be worked on. Like I said, if you are getting sick, run down easy, it could just be that you're not getting enough sleep. While we sleep, so many things happen within the body. It is a plethora of healing and restoring and rejuvenating that happens within your body. Some people literally don't even know anything that happens while we sleep. I think we all know that our muscles recover while we sleep, but it's also things like your short-term memory is stored, your hormones are balanced. This is your happy hormones, your sex hormones, your hunger hormones. All of your hormones are balanced. Your blood pressure gets a chance to go down. Resting heart rate gets a chance to go down. There are so many things that happen within the body. You know, your liver, kidney, detoxify, so many things happen. And if we aren't getting enough of our sleep cycles, you know how your sleep dips in and out of light sleep, deep sleep, REM sleep, all the sleep patterns. If you don't get enough of them, then you can't possibly heal enough. So make sure that you're getting, 7, 8, 9 hours sleep. If you're in a bit of sleep debt and you haven't slept, over 5 hours in your life, a couple of weeks, few days, get as much sleep as you can. Aim to get 9 hours. That means, sometimes you have to go to bed at 7:30. Make it happen. If you want to feel optimal, these are the things that we have to do. And then, like I mentioned at the beginning, if you are actually already doing all of these things and you're just waking up and you're feeling lethargic, tired, exhausted, irritated, like how I've been feeling, it's probably time to go see a naturopath, get your bloods done, and figure out what's actually going on within your body. Because we can do all of the things that are, quote unquote, right. But then at the end of the day, we can still feel like how I was currently feeling. So if you're like me, I suggest go see a naturopath, get your bloods done. The reason I don't say doctor is, that's just where my beliefs honestly are. I just truly believe that if you take your bloods to a doctor, they have such a wide range of the healthy, quote, the healthy range, depending on the doctor. This is just a very general assumption of mine. And previous experience is they have a wider optimal range, whereas if you go to the naturopath, it's quite smaller. So say, for example, you go and you get your blood pressure done and the optimal is 120/80, but the doctors will allow you, depending on your age, you're allowed to go to 130, 140s, which if you really think about it, that's actually really not optimal, no matter what age you are. So the doctors will allow you to have a bigger optimal range than a naturopath. So you can still feel shit after you do what the doctor says, whereas a naturopath is like, hey, this is where we need to get you to. So hopefully that made sense. And I'm not dissing doctors, like I have some doctor friends, but they're good doctors and they specialize in certain things. But go and see a naturopath and get those things done, because if you're like me and you felt like how I was feeling, you're probably already doing all of the things. Maybe there's something underlying. Right, well, I'm going to leave you there. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you are loving the podcast, I would appreciate so much if you head over to Spotify and give us a 5-star review. I would absolutely love that so much. If you are listening on Spotify, I would love for you to tell me in the comments. If you scroll down, there's a comment section now on Spotify. Scroll down and just tell me right now where you're listening from, whether it's the lounge room in Western Australia, whether you're on a drive, don't text and drive, but tell me when you park, where you're driving. Like, tell me literally where you're listening to this podcast. I would love that so much. And if you are watching on YouTube, please do the same thing. Where are you watching this? Are you just at home chilling out, doing chores? Like, tell me the intricate details. Like, are you walking on the beach and it's raining and your toes are cold? Like, tell me the detail. I would love that so much. Okay, I'm going to leave you there. Until next week, enjoy your life, do the things that make your heart happy, and shine in your authenticity. Bye.